Okay, and our last organised speaker is Reverend Chris Booth. Chris is a Christian minister and he's an anti-fascist, and he has some personal experience of police harassment around the right to protest. So make Chris welcome.
Thank you for mentioning Valentine's Day, because what I'm going to say is all about love. I'm a Christian minister. One of the most important things in the Christian faith, and I know that it's important to so many other people too, is that we are taught to love our neighbour. Is that good? Thanks. We're taught to love our neighbour. Loving our neighbour means what we're doing now. It means showing up in solidarity when our neighbours are treated badly. When my neighbours are speaking up about something that's wrong, I want to add my voice to that. That's what love looks like. So I get to protest as much as I can to support my neighbours. It's part of my practice of loving my neighbour. I know for many of you it is too. The day before Christmas Eve, I had some special Christmas visitors. Did anybody else have any special visitors over Christmas or over the holidays? It wasn't Santa Claus, unfortunately. I had a visit from the police the day before Christmas Eve, and they wanted to ask me about a rally that I had been at 9 months earlier, not quite a year earlier, 9 months earlier, a rally to protect the right to protest like this one. They didn't have a warrant, so I didn't answer their questions. They sent me some fines in the mail. They're basically traffic fines for participating in a protest. It seems a lot like the police have got a problem with love. It seems a lot like they had a problem with my celebration of Christmas too, maybe. Maybe they're part of the war on Christmas, I'm not sure. But it seemed like they were trying to encourage me to stay home and keep quiet. I can't really do that. I can't reconcile that with the way that I'm trying to follow, which tells me to love my neighbour, and it even challenges me to love the people who turn up uninvited at Christmas. I need to love my neighbour, which means offering solidarity when my neighbour's being attacked. Authorities try to spook us, but we need to stay on course. Keep on with what we have intended to do. We need to be ready to speak up when First Peoples are under attack. We need to be supporting calls for land back, even when it means that we have to give the land back, like the church does. We need to be ready to speak up when Jews are being attacked. We need to be ready to speak up when Muslims are being attacked. We need to be ready to speak up when Palestinians of various faiths and no faith are being bombed. We need to be ready to speak up when queer kids are threatened and their social events are cancelled. We need to be ready to make sure that kids can express the fullness of their identity safely. We need to show up to make sure that that can happen. That's what we've been doing, isn't it? We need to be ready to speak up when the government is looking up kids, mostly Aboriginal kids, as young as 10. We need to be ready to speak up when the white supremacists are marching around terrorising our neighbourhood. We need to be ready to speak up and support strikes when workers are being exploited. We need to speak up and act when the land that cares for us is being destroyed. And we need the whole community to know that if somebody tries to terrorise them, their neighbours are going to have their back. A lot of people in our society don't trust that and don't believe that. A lot of people in our society don't believe that they can rely on their neighbours. We need to know our neighbours, even the ones who are difficult to have as neighbours, so that we can create social cohesion. That's what we've been doing when we've been there for each other. Not every community trusts us, and not every community believes that they can draw on the support of their neighbours, but we can do the work of building that trust, even though it's hard. Even with the ones we don't see eye to eye with. This is not something that we can do overnight, but it's worth doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Well, that brings a formal end to our speaking list, and I'd like to thank all our speakers, the choir. I'd like to thank the Ghost of Zelda Soprano. And before we finish, I just want to give another plug for another event. Some of you already may have this leaflet. The Refugee Action Collective is holding a forum to bring together anti-racists on Wednesday, the 25th of February. So that's just over 3 weeks' time. It's going to be at Trades Hall in Carlton at 6:30, and we have a range of amazing speakers. I won't read them all out because there's so many of them, but the speakers include Lydia Thorpe. They include both a Greens and a Labour MP, a Jewish speaker, a Muslim speaker, a refugee, a migrant. In other words, the whole diversity of people who are threatened by the rise of the racists, by Pauline Hanson, by March for Australia. And rather than just responding on a knee-jerk basis whenever the racists show their head, the Refugee Action Collective wants to bring together you and me and everybody we know to discuss the importance of building an anti-racist movement. It's a first step, but an important step. So I hope to see you at Trades Hall on the 25th of February. Okay, what are we going to do? Sorry? Let's end up with a couple of charts. Do you want us to come forward and do some charts? Yeah, come on.
I just love a chant. When our right to protest is under attack, what do we do? I said, what do we do? Said, what do we do? When our right to protest is under attack, what do we do? What do we do? I said, what do we do? I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Violet. Okay, I couldn't do it better. That was great. This is the end of the rally, but it's not the end of the struggle by any means. We will be back later in the year when Jacinta Allen has spelt out exactly what her reactionary agenda is for the right to protest. We will see you again, and I hope we will see hundreds and thousands of more people. But in the short term, exercise your right to protest. Stand up for Palestine. Be at Flinders Street Station on Monday evening at 5:30. We will be there in our thousands, taking over the streets, saying no to genocide. We protest when it's necessary. We protest when we need to. There's no turning back.